But how many cups of coffee will you actually get? That's the subject of tonight's Night Court segment. Folgers Coffee facing several legal challenges that claim the amount of coffee it says its tubs will make isn't exactly true. According to one of the lawsuits, Folgers containers only make about 72% of the coffee its package promises, but Folgers says the amount varies because everyone has a different preference for how strong they like their coffee. Good to the last drop arguments tonight from data privacy specialist and attorney Sarah Gounder, along with criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Welcome to both of you.
Hi, Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Exhibit A from the complaint: the products do not contain enough ground coffee to make the number of servings represented or even close to it. Indeed, it is a classic unlawful bait and switch scheme that causes unsuspecting consumers to spend more money for less than the advertised amount of coffee they believe they are purchasing. Sarah, what's your take?
Look, I'm all for consumers getting exactly what they paid for, but the issue here is the label. It's not definitive. The label says that the can will produce up to a certain amount of cups. And how do you define a cup? To Folgers' point here, you could produce 5 light cups with a half scoop. You could produce a strong cup of coffee with a full scoop. How do you measure that? And so the possibilities are endless, and that's going to be presenting a challenge here for the plaintiff's argument.
Exhibit B, 173 versus 240 cups from the complaint. The 30.5 ounce canister has a net weight of 865 grams. Therefore, it contains only 72% of the amount of ground coffee required to make up to 240 cups of coffee. This is equivalent to approximately 173 cups of coffee. Bob, what about that argument?
It's an outrage, Mike. This is a terrible thing. Seriously, I'm not typically in favor of a lot of these lawsuits, but this one really ground me up. I mean, because here's the deal. It tells you to put 1 tablespoon in for 1 cup of coffee, and they factored this out. It's definitive math. It comes down to 72% with regard to the big jugs, but the rest of their products come out to an average of 68.29% less. So, Mike, imagine it this way. You go to the store, you pick up a 6-pack of soda for your kids, you pick up a 6-pack of an adult beverage for you, you put it in your bag, you don't really know what's in there or not. You get home, and only 4 cans of soda are there, and only 4 beers are in there. That comes out to basically the average of their products. Now, what would you do? And I ask your audience, if you went back home and you only found 4 beers when you thought you were getting 6.
Outrage.
This is a deceptive practice. Outrage, Mike.
Exhibit C, the Folgers container. Because consumers have different preferences for making coffee, Folgers uses the words up to when talking about how much coffee a canister would make. According to court documents, Sarah, if you like weak coffee, you could probably get a whole lot more cups out of a canister. No?
I hear Bob, but there have been other lawsuits that were filed, and the judge actually ruled in favor of Folgers because you cannot produce this. And so likely that's going to be what happens here, too.
We're up against the clock. Bob, bring us home.
Yeah, the judge basically said they threw that suit out, but allowed them to refile another lawsuit. So we'll have to see where this goes. Bottom line, Mike, my opinion is that the judge made the ruling because he's anti-caffeine and he's got a conflict of interest, should be removed from this case. This really is a serious lawsuit. I'm outraged. I want all my coffee, period, and stop.
And at this hour of the night, we all need good caffeine. Sarah, Bob, thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Some good